Hearing, number one.
Public hearing number one, to use the following reserves to purchase seal coat services, recreation reserves, $3,600.
Anyone have anything to say? Well, once, twice, thrice.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, we can, that's for them. Now we can talk about it.
Sorry.
That's the case someone came to the public hearing.
Oh, okay. Do we really want to spend the money on the basketball courts if somehow the DRI forces us to tear it up?
Ooh,
And that's what this is for?
I'll chain myself to the fence.
So they can't,
Well, I don't like the idea.
they
but-
can't force us.
Yeah, they can't make us do that
Anything
project,
with
even
that.
if they award us the money for that project.
Okay,
We
well, I'm
can-
not
we can
against
use it
it.
for
I just
something
didn't
else.
want to waste it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There are already
Okay.
enough plans about what the space is gonna be
No.
used for this summer and.
yeah.
yeah. It's probably, it's cheap enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, well, you gonna make the motion then?
I'll make the motion that we accept the $3,600 quote for resealing the basketball courts.
One second, don't we have to, isn't it to use the reserves?
To use $3,600 over.
$3,600 from the reserves.
Yep.
Which we have.
Any other discussion? Once, twice, thrice, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Dookie. Public, do we have a second one, Dan, or no? I thought we had two.
Nope, just over.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. The other ones are at the bottom. The rest of the resolution or proclamations. Okay, well then, here we go. First up. Approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda, although I do have a question for DPW as to why we're salting trees.
Salting trees.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Good call.
Doing
Maybe it'll help them live.
your impersonation of Sherman through Georgia?
I have a comment, I guess, for Phil. Two things. Are you gonna somehow schedule nice weather to paint those bins and finish them off?
Yeah.
We have the money, we have to paint,
Yep.
got the right kind. I know you were, I just wanted to.
Yep.
Just remind you.
They'll get done, I promise.
Hey, I heard that last year, holding you to it this year. Cause they're looking a lot better than they were, so. Okay, how about dirt for gardens? You got any success there?
She has, I've called her 3 times and she has not returned the call yet, so,
You know, keep at it.
yeah.
If not, we gotta go buy some, or at least bring down some mulch or something and put
Oh,
a pile of it
yeah.
near there.
Pretty nice.
You know, that nice black, at least that will help, you know, help fill the bins. Oh yeah, that's all I got for you. You're doing great, I think. All right.
Anybody else have anything? All right, we have a motion.
I think I did.
Did you do a motion?
I'll second it.
Second, any other discussion? Once, twice, thrice.
Aye.
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 Okay, all in favor. All right then. Approval of the minutes.
Dan, there were some corrections. Did they just not make it into the packet?
I put them the new minutes in the packet, so. Those were the minutes I was given this morning. As corrected.
All right, because we were missing a visitor from Leo Webb's office. I believe that was Mr. Black,
Dylan Black.
Dylan Black.
I'll just
he's
make
not
the notations that those are the correct minutes, then they'll be
These look
corrected.
good.
Oh, it wasn't on mine.
You got a special package.
I must have gotten the,
That's why the expert up here.
oh, okay. I got the special packet.
Yeah.
So,
You're the one that really reads the
yeah,
minutes, so.
so,
You just want to give it to one more time.
yeah. I even read the packet. So if those corrections were made, I make a motion that we accept the minutes. And I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. Authorization of payment of the bills.
I don't know, are my numbers correct?
Use mine just in case.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the payment of bills from the F and G funds, vouchers number 18 through 27, in the amount of $1,019.04. From the A fund, vouchers number 69 through 131, in the amount of $60,516.21. and from the TNA fund vouchers number 7 through 9 in the amount of $447.33.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Privilege of the floor.
Um,
Oh,
Privilege in my backside, too. Let you know.
all right. Once, twice, thrice, privilege of the floor, okay. Old business, not new business. All right, approve Barton and Lagudas O&E agreement for the Newton Waterworks tank storage project.
Jacqueline Novak can be an element on that.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So thanks for having me today. I was hoping that maybe I could give you guys an update on both the water and the sewer project while I'm here. So I'll start off with the water project since that's the topic of conversation today. We did go through the RFQ process for that project earlier this year. And B&L was selected as the engineer for design and construction phase services for that project. And just as a quick overview of what that project is including, right now, it's proposed to construct a new water storage tank over on Wolf Road and decommission the 2 existing steel tanks that are over on the other side of the village. And then also as part of that project for now, we are proposing a small water main extension to serve a couple of homes and a small booster pump station to get up the hill to those users. Now, I know I've talked with Dan a little bit about that and whether or not that might be included in the project moving forward. So it's included right now. And then that's something that, of course, the board can always make a decision on later on. So for today, we have a design proposal for you for design and construction phase services for B&L. And also I can give you a brief update on the sewer project as well. We are currently in design for that. So we are working through some design drawings and specifications for that project. We've hired on 2 sub-consultants, Aubertine and Courier and Jadestone, to assist with electrical and MEP services and structural services as well. And we were out on site about the end of February, and we were able to conduct a drawdown test at the main pump station to assist with those designs. We were able to gather some information about flows coming out of that main pump station. And then we also worked with Keith to collect some pump operating hours and flow data that he has been collecting. So that all is very helpful for us for design to ensure that what we propose for pumps, et cetera, has the capacity to handle the flows that the pump stations are currently seeing. So hopefully Dan was able to send over to you my little outline here of the 2 projects, but they're both kind of running along a similar schedule. So I put the schedule together kind of side by side to walk you all through what the proposed upcoming months might look like. So right now we are, of course, in design for the sewer project. We are going to be looking to collect some project letters of support for the project. And then we are looking forward ahead to some various funding applications. So for both water and sewer, the WIA applications for those 2 projects will be due in June. We'll also be looking to submit an RD application. We've been working with Dan on the RD application for the water project to help with some funding. And then we'll also in July timeframe, the applications haven't been opened up for CFA just yet, but we anticipate they'll open in May and be due in July. So we'll be looking to apply for WQIP for the sewer project, and then also to apply for a CDBG grant for both the water project and the sewer project. And I believe last month you authorized G&G to assist with those applications for CDBG. So looking ahead, if all goes well, for both projects, we would be looking to submit the designs to agencies for agency review in the fall. And that would be ahead of those funding announcements that are anticipated usually around December timeframe. And the reasoning for that, especially is CDBG. They do have a requirement that if you receive a grant, you need to move into construction within 6 months of that announcement. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. So they like to see that you're already in design when you apply so that you can turn around and go to bidding as soon as those funding announcements are made. So overall, if all goes well, funding announcements come out over the winter and the village is ready to proceed with either or both projects. We would be looking at bidding in late winter, so probably like January, February 2025, and then potentially starting construction in the spring of 2025. For each of those grant programs that I just walked us through some of those deadlines, I did include some of the numbers for the project. So I won't go into too much detail, but we did submit a congressionally directed spending request to Mark Molinaro, Senator Schumer, and Gillibrand. So for both projects, we requested $2 million for each project. We also did receive a EFC hardship loan last year for the sewer project, which I crunched the numbers and that equates to a $1.9 million grant for that project. So hardship is certainly something we like to target. It's a low interest, 0% interest loan. So that's a great thing to secure for the project. Moving forward to WIA, we'll be looking to apply for just under $2.5 million for the water project. For the sewer project, they actually just made an announcement this year, which is really beneficial for the village. Usually for sewer projects, you can apply for a WIA grant of up to 25% of the project cost. This year, they've announced an enhanced WIA grant, so that allows you to apply for an additional 25%, so up to 50% grant on the project. And that is for disadvantaged communities, small communities. So right now it looks like the village would be able to target that enhanced grant, which would be wonderful for the project. And then moving forward for CDBG, we also would be looking to apply for a $2 million grant for both of those projects, the water project and the sewer project. And for WQIP, the village would be eligible for just over $1.25 million. So all total, obviously that adds up to more than the project cost, but we're looking to apply for multiple different opportunities to create a funding package that's affordable for the residents. So I think that kind of runs through where we're at on both projects. They're kind of similar timelines, ever so slightly different. Is there any questions on any of that right now?
I don't have any. Sounds good to me.
All right.
If I may, if this is not the case, and tell me to stop talking, but with you taking away two water towers on Caraway Hill and just moving both to Wolf Road, or however you worded that, that's going to take away from our ISO rating because of the atmospherical pressure that we use for our fire hydrants. We have half the village going up there, half the village using the Wolf Road thing, and the atmospherical pressure is 5 pounds for every 10 feet of elevation. So that's going to lessen our hydrant pressure, like on this end of the village, which will change our ISO rating and all sorts of stuff. So you say pump, where are you going to put the pump? And can you guarantee that we're going to continue that type of flow for the fire service? I guess is my question.
Yeah, so the pump that I mentioned was to serve the residents that are uphill from the tank over on Wolf Road. It's my understanding with conversations with Keith that he operates both the concrete tank that's over on Wolf Road and the two steel tanks, which I believe one's not currently in service, but he operates them at the same elevation. So by installing the new tank, we would install it so that the operational elevations between the high water and low water levels would be equivalent to what you currently have. It's basically an in-kind replacement, just in a different location. I know the board in the past has expressed some concern with that transmission main that goes under 81. So this would help alleviate that concern.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I just had a question,
Yep.
so thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you're welcome.
Good question. It is.
Okay. So the first up would be the approval of the O&E agreement for the water tank storage project.
I'll make that motion that we approve it.
I'll second that.
Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. And next up, approve the fiscal advisors service agreement for the sewer pump project.
Again, I don't have any problem, so I'll make a motion that we agree to the what did you call them, FNA?
Fiscal advisors, fiscal
Advisors service agreement for the sewer pump project.
I'll second that.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, unanimous. All right, next up, approve the Century Alarm 5-year annual Homer Fire Department Firehouse Equipment Inspection Contracts.
Jay, you good with them?
Yeah, we had a discussion with Tanya and Tim, and it's just easier because we were paying a service anyway, and we just need to re-up it. So it all works out, especially when we're giving the buildings being used for like Andrew's yoga and stuff like that. So it just works out. If we're going to start opening up to other people, it's probably better to have it monitored.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Century Alarms 5-year annual Homer Fire Department Firehouse Equipment Inspection Contract. I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next up is approve the Jerome Fire Equipment quote for the Homer Fire Department. Yeah, yep.
So in the past, we've used Prairie Fire. They've recently moved. They kind of dropped the ball a little bit when we were trying to pump test a certain, or 502 to be exact. So I reached out to one of our reps, and they do a service where instead of having them schedule out through a couple days and us shipping it to Cortlandville, they bring a trailer down and they service everything right here at the Homer Fire Department. And then when we're done the next year, or I say, hey, okay, next year. So then it doesn't even have to think about like trying to schedule it. They just come back down the following year around this time. So that was the whole point of getting approval to have this contract going forward. So in June every year, we know when they're getting serviced.
Jay, you hydrostatically test all of your tanks every year?
Wow.
Yep. So that's part of the ISO rate is you have to test your pumps, and there's 3 of them that we have right now currently.
No, I mean am I looking at the right thing?
I don't think we're looking at the right contract.
Hydrostatic testing of the SCBA cylinders.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yes, that's okay. So Jerome's doing that too. The cylinders have to get tested each year.
Really?
Yep, and then but they're going to be coming end of life in 5 more years, so we have to look at replacing them in 5 years. But this Jerome will come and pick up those cylinders and bring them up there and rotate back through. So
I think that's aluminum, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. Scuba.
we had Duval doing that.
When I was
And Duval does the testing of the Scott air pack itself because that's the vendor that we use. But this is, I think, $10 cheaper per bottle with the same services. It was $35 per bottle for Duval. I think it's $25 for a drone.
well, if you got to do it, I'm in.
I make a motion that we approve the Jerome Fire Equipment quote for the Homer Fire Department on the hydrostatic and visual testing of the SCBA cylinders. I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, next up, accept bond anticipation note of $550,000 for phase 2 of the Newton Waterworks sewer pump project.
Obviously, good cash flow flowing for that project, and so, as Jacqueline went all through the various funding sources we're looking to secure.
Yep.
It's not bad, 3.25%, so I'll make a motion that we accept the bond anticipation note.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Gotta do it.
Next up, accept the Homer Police Department Chief monthly reports.
So Chief, how crazy was it on 281 yesterday?
Like figure out how to work with the unmute button. Not just 281, it was every state road coming into the village. Was extremely busy. However, did get a phone call today from the state regional transportation manager. He would like to thank the police department and the fire department for helping out with traffic last night. So
Yeah, traffic lights went on for a while.
I'll make a motion, we accept the chief's report as written.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Chief, anything else you want to add?
nope, I appreciate it. And if you guys are all set with me, I'm going to log off.
All right, we'll see you. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, accept the Homer Fire Department election results.
I don't see a copy.
The listing in just in your email, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, Jay already signed up. No, he's there. Congratulations, Jay. Chief,
Oh, thank you.
glad it's over. Yeah, does anyone need to know the list? Cause I have, no, you good with it? Okay. We have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the results of the Homer Fire Department elections. Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right, 2 proclamations.
A, whereas in accordance with the Title 8 Fair Housing Policy of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 and the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988. And whereas the month of April 2024 has been designated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity as Fair Housing Month. Now therefore be resolved that the Village Board of the Village of Homer hereby declares and proclaims April as Fair Housing Month in the village.
Any discussion?
Good idea.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the proclamation as stated.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, all right. And now B,
Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore I, Mayor, state your name.
Darren Alvocate.
Mayor of the Village of Homer, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2024 as Arbor Day in the Village of Homer, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated this 9th day, April 2024.
I make a motion that we approve the Arbor Day proclamation. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, before we go, we got, Andrew wants to talk about the softball fields.
So, also on my report, I, received a quote for Toledo softball field reconstruction. In my report, it says I declined to move forward. Upon further review, the field out there is, the grass portion is uneven. Phil said we can roll it. It's currently just cut out around the bases. It seems like it's, pitty and uneven. It's gonna take some work. With the increase, I sent the mayor an email. We're up 150% in registration, so it shows that there's a need not only for a field that's adequate, but I think safer also. And the reason I contacted the school because I know that they had some projects going on. They recommended these folks, and that's where I got these initial quotes from. They were kind enough to break it down into several options where we do some work, they do some. I definitely think it's a need. I think the registration has shown that it's something that the people are supporting. So, and in emailing the mayor and Tanya, and all of you on that, Dan mentioned that we should probably get some more quotes, or I will get more quotes. I've made a couple phone calls already to see if we can get those taken care of.
What's the ballpark for what you're needing with dirt and stuff?
Excuse me?
What's the ballpark without quoting anybody? That way you only have to.
Figure 30,000.
30,000?
And yeah, that is
That's significant. That wasn't budgeted.
Well, we'd be looking at CDBG.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm in for that.
Yeah, that was an option.
Not a done deal,
Some of us doing some of the.
What?
Not to interrupt, Andrew, that's not necessarily a done deal. I agree that it's most likely, those are the fun projects they like to fund.
Right.
It needs a sign off from
Sure.
the state.
And you were thinking of doing this work if it were to happen this year after the softball season's over, right? What's your timeline?
Well, part of, I think what they've figured into their quotes in saving us some money is that they are bringing their equipment to the school. They are gonna be local. They mentioned
Okay.
that, I don't see it reflected, but they did say, hey, we're gonna get the school, the cost savings on moving equipment and the various options if DPW can, be part of it. But that was the reason for contacting this company, and they said, the school mentioned that and the company mentioned it. If it was possible, I'm a pie in the sky kind of guy, like, if we could get it done and get people to do some of the work and have them come finish it off, that would be great. I've looked up online and things, and some can get done in a weekend. I had a phone call with the recreation maintenance supervisor in Newville today. He said it can be done, and
When did the season start?
the grand opening, we're having an opening day celebration is May 11th.
Okay, so it has to
it's
go
a-
fast,
It's a month.
right?
You need all that special dirt from Pennsylvania and all that stuff.
So their proposal is to skin the infield. They'll put a subsurface depending on the soil out there, probably sand. The sand comes in, that gets spread down, and then, they'll come in with the infield mix. It's not collegiate level infield mix that I asked for. I asked for, good quality product that the youth can play.
And then I did ask a question about how long, would this last? And you basically said, as long as we take care of it, it just lasts.
It
Yeah.
could last a life. That's been my experience with the field work that I've been involved in. Again, with the gentleman from Portland, he took over the fields probably 12 or 13 years ago. And immaculate. He said, if you use your water the right way, drag the fields properly, edge them properly, you may need to add some more mix in 5 years, or it could be 10, if everything's done right. And the field would stay in condition for
Yeah, they use it for football and everything else. Those fields are used quite a bit.
Well, yeah, but they don't use that part for football, do they? The softball part?
They cut in, that's a down the road plan for me. I'm hoping that maybe we could push the football field a little bit further. down.
Right.
We put goalposts out there. We don't necessarily.
Oh, so they cut into like the outfield?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
but they wouldn't be on the infield.
Okay, oh, that's, yeah. My thought on it is we put a lot of money into Griggs for the Little League folks, and
Yeah.
this is fair. Did I ask already how many participants you have this year?
I'd like to start with how many we had last year.
Yeah.
27, we're up to 72.
Right, see,
So
that's,
we have five full teams, 2 at 12U, 2 at 10U, and even an 8U team this year.
And we budget a couple thousand for Griggs every year to keep up with the improvements and the maintenance to keep the field in the same condition there, so.
well, have you run this by the rec committee?
I think just in an agenda item, we've never, I'm looking into it, if it's a possibility.
Gotcha.
And like I said, when I was.
He has to get more
Hey,
quotes.
Hal,
Yeah,
Hal, can I mention a couple other possible funding sources? There is 32,000 almost in rec reserves, although we have to take out the 3,600. There is also 15,000 in ARPA allocated to the peace trails that isn't anywhere because that hasn't happened.
yeah, that's true. That is kind of. So that's a good, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know where that project is. I guess it's not happening. So, yeah, that's good. I think it's a great, I think it's a great idea.
CDBG off the table, that's a little better, but still I'd say some quotes, definitely.
And then
Yeah.
also just a confirmation from the quotes about timing, could they get this done before you start your season, or is this something they could only do later in the summer?
Well, if there's if the rec committee wants to discuss a longer term project to upgrade of the field, do something, modest this season, and then say, well, we could do this, we could do project X, that's something we talk about budget time, and some other monies we could put towards it, that might be something more outstanding than just this little bit of work.
Sure, my thought initially is to redo those areas that are already done, the cutouts, I call
Right.
them, and then do the rest of it next, if that was a possibility.
Okay.
We do have field maintenance equipment at Griggs, that's ours, a mower, a field drag, some other field maintenance equipment that won't be used, so we could get those out and use them.
So that's, we don't have to make a decision. It's basically just for everyone to think about and.
Well, I like the idea, because you gotta keep your fields up and you sure don't wanna hurt the kids. Especially if there's, chunks and divots, things like that that need to be filled in.
So we do have a nice backstop, it looks great. Also, the
That's right.
field is doing work at their school, they called and said, we're getting rid of these bleachers. I went and looked, they're in great condition, so we'll have some new bleachers and look like a little stadium. Hopefully the field can match that.
I think it's super. All right,
Just for an add-on, I'm gonna ask in a CFA for an ice rink for you guys to put over there too. We may not get it, but I'm gonna ask. If you don't ask, you can't get it.
Something else I had that. cross it out. Which is- Yeah, maybe not. Okay.
Senior moment.
Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, no, it's not on the agenda, but I thought the part-time guys were gonna be accepted tonight.
That's on the
They
consent
were,
I
agenda.
think we did that.
Yep.
Like I
Yeah.
said,
All done.
Oh, you heard that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're in.
Yep.
No brainer.
Keith, anything?
I got a question for Kevin, where they took that trailer out,
Which one? Beaver or not?
the one they just took out, where'd the sewer come out of that? Come out the back?
On the west side.
Yes.
On the west side, okay. All right, because they.
Towards the north.
The town got a little overzealous and pay attention, so they want to come up and start digging around, try to find it, because it's got to be gapped off. And,
If they get a hold of me, I can pretty much narrow it down to
Alright.
three.
that's where Buzz thought it was, but I wanted to check with you.
Yeah, because you could just, it's a straight line.
Right, we just dig down and gap it off. The other thing I got is, Eve Street. The water and sewer are hooked in. But on, the other end where we're gonna make a loop. The people that own it have gave us consent, they're gonna sign the, so we can use their.
Really?
Oh, that's great.
Cause if they don't, it's gonna be a joke.
Well, I thought we were gonna be able to go through,
It's just,
okay, so,
it enters into more than, I mean, it enters
Okay.
into a lot of property, 3 properties then.
Okay.
The other way.
well, that's great that they're gonna let us go through with
Yeah, I
that.
got the confirmation tonight, so.
Oh, good. Didn't think that
They
was,
were hesitant, they thought that we were gonna take over that end and put a road in, I was like, I don't give a shit about a road, I was like, we just wanna put a water line.
yeah, and I think actually we discussed with them, I mean, it wasn't, it's not that we were trying
That's
to.
why they bought it, so nobody could ever connect them 2 roads.
Yeah, and that was never our intent, but what we did talk about was making sure that emergency vehicles could get through there if they had to, right? So if it's grass or whatever, they can just drive over the grass.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's not a very wide strip. So.
Yeah.
But
It's good to have the flow, so you don't have freeze ups.
Well, I'm not sure why the health department even let that fly the way it did. Cause everything's gotta be a loop system now, and
Right,
that's not a loop system, I don't. And that was just done, I don't know how many years ago, was it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Phil, when they did all that, I mean. Oh, that's not that long ago,
Well, at least we got it fixed, that's good.
but I'll, hopefully, I never did get at that meeting we had with Jerry and them, they never did say who was paying.
for the water stuff,
Yeah, to loop it. They never, when I said something to them, they kind of chuckled, and it's not coming out of my budget, I know
you got a rough estimate of what
that. I don't now, because we're still waiting to measure it out, because we didn't know where it was gonna go.
Yeah, when you have that, let me know, at the very least.
I mean, apparently they didn't take me serious, it's like, who's footing the bill?
Well, yeah, at the very least, I'll try to get them to split it. And is there any important stuff in the chat there, I see?
No, it's just Jacqueline said,
Oh, okay, good. Pat, I remembered, this other thing I had. We need to get a hold of the arborist and ask him to come through. You got that on your thing? Okay, yeah, good. Good. All right. And comments by the attorney's gone. Board members? Ted?
Pat and I took a ride up on to O'Shea Road and looked at our 5-acre dump. Interesting, they have some things, they've put some pipes in the ground for checking, and guess they're okay. But anyhow, about 3 acres of it's flat, and there is power lines there. So basically, the idea was to find somebody that might want to do some solar, and if we could get some kind of revenue stream for the village. We're not using it, it's paid for, it's never gonna be used because it was the dump.
Did you guys look at the,
It's not 3-phase,
It's
but
not
they can
three-phase.
run an extra wire on, because I've seen them other places. That's just the cost of the business. They cost, somewhere around 400,000 to 500,000, per acre, so. If they could only get 3 acres, you're talking about 0.6 megawatts, which is quite a bit of power. That would cost anywhere about 1.2 to 1.5 million, depends on whatever the equipment they're using. And and I'm just using 10 cents return, because I know we pay, 22 cents or something for the rest of us. So it could have an income flow of about 120 to 150,000 a year. So if we could pull off 10 or 15,000, that's better than zero. And its use of the thing, and it's, so it's up to, you guys, well, us guys, to see, if somebody, would like to do a solar, take a look at it. So anyhow, that's one thing. I've had 2 conversations with the Department of State on the River Trail. And so they've been giving us some guidance as to, what's going on. Pat's been on some of the phone calls. We got, Barton and Lagudas to come down, no contracts or anything, but they actually did some cost estimating at real numbers, which we shared with the Department of State. And so they accepted it. Basically, you're looking at $1,000 to $1,400 a lineal foot for a river trail, if you need it. So we're talking from Turkey Park, you gotta go under 281, which is kind of a cantilever. They said they could do it, go under the bridge and all the way down to Casey Fields, and it's about 12 million bucks. So we gotta ask for money from LRIP, from Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec will let us buy property, so I'm gonna turn in CFAs for those 2. We did hear back, you guys said it was okay to go ask for earmarks, and we did get one return from Molinaro, who said he only had 15 that he was allowed, and we didn't cut it, but he would write us nice letters of recommendation for, this is for the event thing that went, so anyhow, that's that, and we still have Schumer. Well, we don't expect it, but again, if you don't ask, you don't get. So, and it puts us on record for, asking. So, got the dirt coming for the gardens. That ought to make people happy, or mulch, whatever, maybe some mulch, okay, whatever. And the painting of the things, I think that's pretty good. Route 11, I guess we're coming along good on. Dam, salt shed, more rocks. And then I did hear from our lawyer that he thinks we won't hear from the DRI till May now, which is sad, but anyhow, over.
All right. Elizabeth.
I guess May will be here pretty soon, but it does feel like things are kind of on hold of what the village, what the vision is for the village until we know about what's getting approved. But I just wanted to acknowledge Andrew and his work putting together the Easter egg hunt. I heard from a number of residents throughout the village. They were just thrilled to have that 35 seconds of absolute chaos on the green.
It went that long? The year I went, 17 seconds. It was amazing.
There was a baby.
Oh, you gotta have
Take a little more time, but the work that he put in and coordinated with the basketball team from SUNY Cortland, the girls team there, who filled all these thousands of eggs. The rec committee, the police department, we even had one of the Homeland police officers helping to scatter eggs that very cold morning, and the fire department, but families really enjoyed it, and I think you got everybody even more excited for all that you have planned in the summer months on the green, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm blown away with the father-daughter dance sold out. That's amazing. Yeah, I doubled what she said.
Kevin, you got.
I got nothing other than, Keith, if you guys need my assistance, how get a hold of me where to find me.
Okay. Oh, can I put something for Kevin? We went through the flags for 281 or whatever.
Are they looking kind of shitty?
But there's several that need to be retired, I guess you want to call it. But we were thinking to try to go maybe every other pole. That's just a lot of flags, and I think it costs some money to replace some of it. We're looking at a different kind of bracket too.
Get up, whatever poll you choose, we're gonna get, run that by net grids, so it's just put about.
No, they're already up from the previous. I just want to do every other one instead of every.
But like I said, just if I need the number of the polls,
Oh,
we
yeah,
need to get it to net grid to approve.
I don't like every other one at all. I don't like every other one.
No, okay.
When we got approval to put them up last year, it was only a 1-year approval.
It's always on with your approval.
Okay.
Gotta re-up all the time.
They're so fun to work with.
Okay.
So I guess we'll need to find some more money. If you want to replace me.
Now the brackets, probably 80% of them broke. But I looked up and they're only like 2 $2 a piece, but they're solid steel. And they're already, pretty, like 45-degree angle, so everything's all set on that.
Oh, good.
Probably had some beautification money.
Yeah,
I
that's.
think
what
we
I'm looking
put
at.
some in for the budget, so.
Yep,
Check with Tanya,
No, it won't
make sure
cost
there's
much.
some. Yeah,
the flag, you know.
281 needs to,
$60.
you know, on for.
All right,
Thanks.
I know you got a list.
Go ahead and take care.
I'm done.
I thought Kevin was done. I was looking at you.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to welcome our new accounts clerk, Asia Stauber. So if anybody comes into the village office and they see a new person, please make her feel welcome.
I already did that.
So Phil and I were talking about the community building, the water that has been pooling in the front and all the work that they're doing there. So they're gonna continue to work on that to get that out. There is a tree grant from the USDA Forestry Service Community Forestry Grant Program that's coming. And it is for communities that are disadvantaged. And there's about 4 different levels. And they go through each level first before they go to the next one. We are in level B, after level A, obviously, and it's about $9 million. So I think there's a good chance we'll be able to get some funding here,
That'd be great.
because it also covers not only tree planting, but tree removal. And with the ash trees that we've got, which some of our other hard maples, which are going on us, any money that we can get for removal will help.
Great.
The dog park, that were potential dog park, Jack McDurney from Cortlandville contacted me, and they actually have a dog park committee that their residents are putting together, and he would like to get with us to discuss, because we expressed that we want to do a dog park. And if we can get some people from the community that are willing, with no sense reinventing the wheel.
Right.
He has done a lot of research already on it in anticipation, but they don't have the land.
There you go.
So looks like we're in good shape for the land, but we don't have all this knowledge, so they're willing to come over, and it
Great.
would be a great time for us to collaborate.
Great.
Last thing I have is, as Ed mentioned, the dam. So the dam had to go back to the Corps of Engineers. And with the Corps of Engineers, who knows? So it's a very frustrating process. It's been 1 step forward, 5 steps backwards, but we're still persevering. And Kevin, we are looking to get that information that you requested on the Contento property. So that's in the works. Thank you.
And if the board doesn't get it done soon, we'll contact Fallen Arrows or Schumer's or Gillibrand's office, and they can put some pressure on.
And we may need to do that sooner than later, because this has been dragging on for
Yeah.
a while. The only other thing I had is, and a lot of them have already gone off, I want to say the reports were all exceptional. Water, rec, DPW, even though I teach you about for long, and especially the fire department. And congratulations to all the new and returning fire department officers. And that's all I have.
All right, that's great. I don't have anything, we don't have anything for no executive session.
No.
Questions from the media or anyone else?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding the stuff that's going on with the sewer and water projects right now. So the O&E agreement, what does that stand for?
Oh, it's operation and engineering, I believe.
Owner, engineer,
Owner and engineering?
we're the owner. You know the engineer.
Oh, yeah, owner and engineer.
Okay, so you said we're, or not we, but,
The village is the
Homer-
owner. right?
yeah, the village is the owner and the engineer is,
You know.
okay. And then the fiscal advisor service, what is the fiscal advisor's service agreement?
They have,
Yeah, that's the, is it,
Bank anticipation.
yeah, okay, it's a ban.
so financials, with a lot
Yeah.
of projects, they're kind of the, the resource between state and, grantee with regards to
Yeah.
the projects and things like that.
Yeah, there's a ban and ran, and so this is a ban, so it's a bond anticipation note, which. Cause we have to pay for everything out of pocket and then get reimbursed, and so it's basically, we borrow money in the short term for projects.
Okay, and you'll have to forgive me, I have not written about bonds, and maybe this is something we can talk to, maybe afterwards about. Where would that money come from? So you said it would be,
It's a loan,
it's a loan, okay,
Yeah.
and then like, would the grant help pay that back, or?
yeah, the grant money pays it back,
Okay, perfect.
the grant money and then whatever other sources of funding we have, there might be a low interest loan or a no interest loan, or, we're waiting on the funding still.
Okay.
Yep.
I apologize, just a couple of more questions. What's the cost estimate on the water tank project and then the sewer pumps?
Yes, we can give her the.
Yeah.
There.
I apologize, thank you for bearing with me. Okay.
It's like $5 million.
Explanation on one whole process.
Okay, you mind if I just-
Take the whole thing.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, that answers my questions then, sorry. about
Okay.
that.
That's all,
You might have more questions after you go through.
Yeah. All right,
I have something.
yes, sir.
So on my report, I projected the release date of our digital program guide in 4/22 for the deadline for everybody to get their items in. That's going well. Asia's first project was trying to get a W-9 from, I call it Flipbook, it's a company, but, so there was kind of a delay in the W-9 getting returned. The company is in Malta, so it's a cloud-based, which is, she did track it down and did W-9, but it's gonna push it past the projected deadline. I didn't know if there was any way or anything to get that purchased sooner, to keep with the deadline. With some of the stuff in there is May. It's not a make or break thing.
So what is it that they're doing specifically?
So I've created the Word document and a PDF.
And they put it
They
in the
take it,
book
they put it
form?
into a flip book. So if you get it on your phone, you can,
Right.
see, they got the nice little sound effect.
Yeah.
Facebook, they can click the link. It's very attractive. I think at this day and age, I mean, I could print off several Word docs. But in this day and age, with digital, between the phones and it will just give people an opportunity to get our information, attractive and functional fashion.
I don't have an answer to that. I don't know.
Let's
So-
talk about tomorrow, man.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, anything else?
W-9 is tax exempt stuff, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
Tax
Yeah.
exempt form, and that's what you're looking
The
for?
first time I've run into a delay, and I came in today and they just said, oh,
It
that's
should be
right
back.
here. We're waiting for them to get back to us.
Right.
Thank you.
Go. All right. Well, yes.
This isn't state related, nor is it very important, but. Are we having no mo May?
That was the other one that I forgot to bring up. Thank you for reminding me, because I actually was with the daughter of the person that proposed it last year. Yes, I would like to do no mo May again.
I'll make a motion that we accept no more.
It has to be a resolution. We'll have to do it at the next meeting.
We can do it at the next meeting, 'cause
Yep.
that'll be,
Still April.
We can, but we can let residents know that it's gonna be happening. We just go through the formality of going through doing the resolution and everything.
Basically, we won't
Next meeting.
send the codes guy out, your grass gets too high.
Right.
Do we have to like, sign up for it or?
Yes.
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
sign up.
I think, yeah. Yep, just come down to the office or email clerk@homerny.org.
Thank you.
You can always create a no mo May account if you want to. So, yes, thank you for bringing that up, because that was the other one I completely forgot. So, thank you. All right. think we're done.
I'll make a motion, we, adjourn.
All in favor?
Maureen?